Welcome to the Olympic Exclusion Zone, a brutally inhospitable wasteland where experimental technology has twisted the fabric of reality in strange and unpredictable ways, where bizarre life forms roam freely, explosions are a regular occurrence, and the very environment, from the air you breathe to the ground you walk upon, seems to be conspiring to plot your demise. This is the environment that you will be forced to endure in Ironwood Studios' Pacific Drive. And while your trusty station wagon does possess the uncanny ability to return you safely to the garage should anything happen to you, this safe return comes at a substantial cost. On top of losing 90% of the gear and loot you had packed away, the car itself will return badly damaged with any number of parts, including potentially the wheels and engine, missing. You don't want this to happen. Unfortunately, thanks to the volatile nature of the zone, it probably will at least once. I can tell you from personal experience that there are a million different things that could go wrong on a run, and you need to keep your wits about you and be prepared for anything, because even the smallest mistakes can sometimes mean the difference between life and death. So, to help you guys out, I compiled a list of 10 tips that should help you to stay alive and avoid having to experience the pain and humiliation of a failed run. Let's get started. Number 1. Always pack extra. Every time you leave the garage to go on a run, on top of filling your gas tank and charging your battery, you're going to want to run through a quick checklist at the workbench to make sure you have everything you need before you head out. The workbench screen will display an inventory of each craftable item for your backpack, car, and garage, so that all you actually have to do is run down the list real quick and add whatever you need more of to your checklist. When packing, never just assume that you're going to acquire the resources you need to craft things like scavenging tools, first aid kits, and battery jumpers on the run. If you do, you're basically setting yourself up for failure. Here's what I recommend. Pack 2 of each scavenging tool, including whatever you're using as a flashlight. That's one for your backpack and one for your car. You're also going to want to make sure that you have enough flare guns, first aid kits, repair putty or blow torches, and battery jumpers. And I would also highly recommend packing 3 of each of the orange kits, an extra gas can, and an extra headlight. That stuff can all go in the back of the car. You can mix it up a little bit and pack away what you think is going to work best for you, but the basic idea is to pack to be prepared for anything, because once you're out in the zone, you never know what you're going to run into. Number 2. Pack the important stuff in the trunk. As you progress through the game, you're going to end up installing roof racks and side racks that can hold a number of different upgrades, including extra storage. There are a couple issues with external storage, however. First of all, if you don't keep your storage racks repaired, items will sometimes begin to fall out of them. Second, a few of the anomalies out in the zone are actually capable of ripping panels, doors, and accessories right off of your car, so it is entirely possible that your storage racks could be stolen from you, and if you don't notice it when it happens, you will never see it or anything that was packed into it again. Because of this, you're going to want to make sure that anything important to you is packed in the trunk where it can't be stolen. And as you begin to use and replace the items you have packed for the trip, more storage space will open up to store your valuables. So remember, if it's important, keep it in the trunk. Number 3. Delegate your time wisely. When you're out on a run, you're typically going to have a laundry list of things you need to get accomplished. Unfortunately, thanks to the unpredictable nature of instability storms, you never really know how much time you're actually going to have. Because of this, you are going to want to prioritize acquiring anchor energy. You need it to open a gateway at the end of the run, and you don't want to get stuck collecting it last minute after the siren has gone off and a storm is coming. Ophelia will tell you that collecting anchors is likely to trigger a storm faster, but I've had situations where I've collected no anchors and the siren has gone off, and other situations where I've collected every anchor and still waited another 20 minutes for the siren to go off. Your other priorities will change as you progress through the game, so plan accordingly. Number 4. Don't underestimate the flare gun. The flare gun is much more than just a light source. It actually serves as your only real means of protection when outside of your car. It's capable of destroying pretty much anything that explodes, and even creates an explosion domino effect if you hit tourists. On top of that, it's capable of distracting abductors, bubblegum buddies, and pickpockets. You're going to want to have one in your backpack at all times if possible. Number 5. Keep track of your quirks. While most of the quirks your car can acquire are only a minor nuisance, it is entirely possible that one of the more serious quirks could be the reason you fail at runs. Once you research the Investigator module for the Tinker Station, which should be pretty early in the game, you can run a diagnostic for 0.5 energy that tells you what parts any quirks your car has are affecting. Don't forget to use this handy gadget and take care of those quirks every time you go to the garage. Number 6. Pay attention to gas and battery levels. The very first time I opened a gateway with the ARC device, I had run my gas tank almost empty and didn't realize I was about to trigger a fast-moving storm that would kill me if I didn't hurry. After I opened the gateway, I ran out of gas and needed to get out and fill my tank with a gas can. The storm moved very quickly and engulfed my car, and I never ended up making it through the gateway in one piece. The moral of this story? Check your gas and battery levels frequently. It could save your life. Number 7. Check for conditions on the route planner. The route planner in the garage has all sorts of useful information to help you out when planning your runs. Knowing which conditions and anomalies you may face at certain junctions will not only help you to plan the safest route, but also to help you prepare for whatever conditions you can't avoid. So check the scanner thoroughly before leaving the garage, because it could potentially help you avoid a failed run. Number 8. Beware the yellow circle. Large yellow circles will sometimes move across the screen on your map, representing various types of squalls and storms that plague the zone. The squalls that you encounter in the outer zone can be deceptively mild when compared to those of the mid and deep zones, lulling you into a false sense of security with windstorms and interference storms that pale in comparison to the corrosive squalls and meteorite squalls you will encounter later in the game. So when you see a big yellow circle coming towards you anywhere besides the outer zone, your instinct should be to get out of its way as quick as possible unless you are close to a garage or barn that you can hunker down in. Number 9. Stabilizer missions will trigger storms. There are a handful of missions in Pacific Drive where Ophelia will ask you to locate and activate a series of zone stabilizers. What she fails to tell you, however, is once you activate the last stabilizer on each level, you will trigger a fast-moving gateway storm. Keep this in mind when you are completing these missions, and make sure that you fill your gas tank and finish exploring everything you want to check out before you flip that last switch, because once you do, there will be no time for errors. Number 10. Don't get greedy. The zone will sometimes present you with high-risk, high-reward scavenging opportunities like ARTA payloads. You may also find from time to time that a resource that you badly need is precariously placed inside of a dangerous anomaly like a cough box or a devil's grinder, and it is going to be up to you to decide whether the risk is worth the reward. Don't get me wrong, sometimes a little bit of risk is totally worth it when it pays off. Payloads can be an excellent opportunity if they land in the right location for you to loot them safely. Just remember that recklessness usually doesn't pay off, and it really isn't worth it to risk everything in your car for a few extra resources. So, if you've made it this far and you're still watching, you should have a pretty solid grasp of how to protect yourself from the dangers that await you in the Olympic exclusion zone. Hopefully this knowledge will help you to recognize and avoid at least one situation that would not have ended well otherwise. Thanks for checking out my video, and don't forget to hit that like button if this video helped you out, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this. I have several more Pacific Drive strategy videos planned over the coming weeks, so stay tuned. Until next time, this is Gishi, checking out.